Okay, so hello everyone and welcome. I am doing things a little bit differently today in that I wanted to share some of my healthy movement routine and bring you along for the journey. So, welcome. Thank you so much. I guess it's kind of a tutorial. So, a couple things. I'm not a yoga instructor, I am just a person who has been doing different forms of movement for many years of my life. So, first things first, we're actually going to do a couple stretches that come more from Tai Chi than from yoga. I really like, I am such a lover of Bruce Lee, everything he represents, everything he's done with his life. And he really says, take what works for you and leave the rest. So we're starting by doing arm circles, and we're just going to do 10 big arm circles forward and 10 big arm circles back, or as many as you can. And then you're going to clench your fists like you're grabbing something 10 times, and then you're going to open your fingers as wide as you can 10 times. That's actually something that I learned from sword practice, but that's a different story. Next, if you're like me and you have very heavy things pulling off of your chest, it could probably be affecting your posture, your neck, and your back. Or if you're just somebody that wants to work on your posture, we're going to put our arms in the opposite direction, and we're going to do that a few times. And then we're just going to try and make our elbows touch about 10 times. You also want, when you do this, to just be really feeling the back on your back, like where your angel wings would be. And so we're going to do that 10 times. And just remember to breathe the whole time. Then just shimmy a little bit, shake it out as we're warming up. Now we're going to do some shoulder rotations. Just pretend 10 is your favorite number, okay? We're going to try and do almost everything that we do today 10 times. So we're going to rotate the shoulders backwards 10 times and rotate the shoulders forward 10 times. All the while breathing. Back to the Tai Chi stretches. We're going to do hip circles on one side 10 times, and then we're going to stop and go in the other direction 10 times. You might notice one side is going to be probably a lot tighter and one side is going to have a lot more ease. Just notice that so you can pay attention when you're doing your stretches. I really struggled with the last three here. One of my hips has some real tightness, and then we're going to move down and do the same thing with our knees. 10 circles in one direction and 10 circles in the opposite direction. This is actually such a good feeling. And once we're finished with that, we're going to move down and do the same thing with our feet. But I think I realized that I needed to just fix my hair because we're doing practice. So let's put it away. So we're going to do pointing your toe towards the ground. You're going to do big circles 10 times on one side, 10 times on the other side, doing both directions. And actually, if you are interested in learning Tai Chi, I really want to recommend, and I'm going to link Janice Hung's YouTube channel. She's amazing. She's trained. She's in in many different disciplines. She's a stunt double. She's an actress. She's so fun. Such a great content creator. Such an awesome person. And I really recommend actually watching her tutorials if this is something that you're interested in, taking seriously and taking further and want to learn from a professional. Next thing we're going to do is do the hip circles here. So you want to take your knee and imagine your knee making a big circle. I don't know. Okay, this one is where it was starting to kind of feel it. So a lot of the work that I do focuses on making sure that my hips are loose. Our hips are where we store a lot of trauma. When we are developing in the womb, the one bone that's connected that kind of grows apart, this is so interesting and 100% true, is like our pelvic bone, our hips, our pelvis, and our jaw. And so often you'll notice that when you have trauma or tightness in your hips, you may also have that in your jaw. You might also clench your teeth when you sleep. You just might have jaw struggles, and this will help you to move some of that energy through your body and hopefully open your mouth more and assert yourself, have stronger boundaries, reclaim your voice. We're all about reclaiming our voices over here. Now, this is good. I do like to focus on a couple of the like SOASs and trauma release points because this is also trauma recovery. So, for this exercise, you're just going to put your head to, the left side until you sigh or shudder or yawn and you feel a little release, and then you're going to do that on the other side. Now, today I decided to add in some EFT tapping, and it was the best choice I could have ever made. And so you just want to repeat to yourself. If you can do this in front of a mirror, that's great. If not, that's okay too. Whatever kind of affirmations you're working with. So today I was working on letting go of shame, letting go of guilt, letting go of control of things I don't have control over, and just welcoming in self love, soft girl era, healing, and being able to accept good things, being able to embrace and welcome my manifestations and all that kind of stuff. I was starting to feel it. It's like, yeah, I'm that chick. So to do EFT tapping, there's someone here named Brad on YouTube who's like the EFT goat. I'll link him as well. But you basically just tap the places where I was tapping: the top of your head, your eyebrow, your right under your nose, and then right on the top of your chin, and then on your chest. And then if you just want to take your hands and reach towards the ceiling, interlocking your fingers and flip them up. I learned this from a monk who's very dear to me. And just breathe. Now, the EFT tapping was very good, but also I'm going to just bow a couple times. And depending on when I can do this in my practice, I might do it like a really high number of times. But I'm just going to do it a few times here. So, in Buddhist practice, when I would be chanting and praying and participating in all that in the temple every morning, we bow many times during morning puja, and the kind of lay people can just put their hands to their heart and put their hands down, but the monks put their palms together all the way up towards the sky, then down toward their heart and down towards the ground. And to me, I really love to do this for a couple of reasons. On a very practical level, it's really good for your spine. It feels so good, and it really loosens up your spine and all your joints for when you're going to do some other stretches. On a spiritual level, you're just really, and an energetic level, I suppose, opening yourself up to receiving not only the blessings from the universe, but really just calling in and tapping in with your higher power, your higher self, earth, anything that's bigger than you. This is a good Reiki practice as well. And then just surrendering to what is not yours to control. I was thinking to myself today, I surrender to the limitations that I do have, and I honor where I am now. Now we're going to take alternating leg and arm, and we're going to raise them each for about 10 seconds. No more than 10 seconds because this can be a little bit damaging. And then right into pigeon pose. I love pigeon pose. Oh, this feels so good on your upper back and your chest. It really opens up your heart chakra too for you to just look around like a pigeon and say, oh, I love communicating. I love the world. I want to be free and share my messages. And then you're going to flip around and do this on the other side. You can do a variation of the pigeon pose if you can't um, grab your foot all the way or turn all the way. Yoga is not about showing off. Exercising isn't about showing off. Being healthy isn't about showing off. It's about being your best self. And so, yeah, on that side, I didn't really have it in me to hold it for longer. So it's about just, doing things that are helpful for you. Another thing, well, I guess that's a discussion for a later time. I'll come back to that. So, this is something that I learned from physical therapy. And basically, you put your hands face down directly under your kind of sit bones on both sides. And then you're just going to lift your feet. I'm actually lifting mine probably a little higher than I should. This is not a competition. You just lift your feet up, really just like 1 or 2 inches off the ground, and you just do this repeatedly. Again, this kind of wakes up that sacrum, that lower part of your back, and just gives it a little bit more of that energetic wake up call that it might be missing. This can also help for activating your root chakra, helping awaken and connect with your lower body, and also helping to just like say what's up to your kundalini energy. Then we love safety, so roll over to your side and pull yourself back up. And now we're going to do some stretches. So just stretch as far as you can. If you're just starting out, don't try and touch your toes and hurt yourself. There's no point to it. The point is that you want your actual angles to be on point, right? You want your back to be straight. So I did a variation of that to show you. If you can touch your knees, that's awesome. And just stretch a little bit and take some deep breaths. And then we're going to go from one side to the other, remembering our posture and keeping our back as straight as possible. What I was just about to sort of get into was this idea that, you know, high stakes workouts like CrossFit and stuff. And I don't want to be negative, but those can be damaging, especially to people who menstruate. And if you're not somebody who's like super athletic or fit, going and pushing yourself all the time is actually probably almost definitely going to send your body into distress and do more harm than good. It's going to release all these endorphins and chemicals. And if you have a history of trauma, that's not necessarily something that's wise, safe, or good for you to do. So then we're going to just practice our floor, how do you call that? Splits. Open your legs as much as you can, pull yourself up on your sit bones, and lean forward for a few seconds and breathe. Now, we're going to put our feet together so that they're touching each other and hold them. And then you're going to try and do little butterfly wings with your legs 50 times. You're going to count to 50 and do this 50 times. And then once you're done, you can lean forward again for a little stretch. Oh, also feeling so good. So again, all the hip opening exercises are really going to help you just release trauma that you're holding on to, maybe consciously or subconsciously. So every time after I do my 50 butterfly wing hip openers, I like to just sit and meditate for a moment or two. If you're somebody that's very new to this, instead of a minute or two, you might want to aim for 10 to 30 seconds. Don't push yourself, if you're not used to sitting alone with your thoughts. I'm also just kind of feeling into some of the releases in my neck that we're just opening up. And you can do different mudras with your hand here. Excuse me, with your hands, and depending on what you're kind of working with. You can keep your eyes open or closed. The main thing is keep breathing. Remember to breathe in through your nose. So it's very important to just take those moments to see what comes up and to just keep honoring your body and honoring your practice and honoring yourself. Now we're going to do another cycle of these hip stretches, leg stretches, starting on one side then the other. If you have lower back pain, 100% your calves are tight. There may be other factors, but you need to be stretching your calves. This is a really good way to do that. Now, as we go on one side and the other, we're going to take our first finger, literally only one finger, and if you can reach your feet, and just pull your big toe, wrap it around your big toe only, and so that your heel is actually lifted off the floor. You're going to do that for maybe 6 seconds, breathing deeply, and then we're going to switch to the other side. Having not tight calves is the key to mobility, joy, and healthy living. Trust me on that one, babes. Now we're going to do some cat cow. Cat cow is so good for your back. Your back might crack, your hips might crack. Oh my God, the inhalation and the exhalation is so good. So think of it like going from your mews to your meows, babe. Sorry, your moos to your meows. So, you know, yeah, basically just what I'm doing right here. Cats will like arch their back when they do their little stretch, and cows are quite the opposite. So, this is like actually really another really good one for your lower back, your sacrum, for your whole back. And it's so gentle and restorative and so just welcoming, especially if you're someone who is just getting started or has just learned about this. Then I'm gonna slip into like a variated child's pose. Child's pose is like hard for me. You really want your butt to be touching your heels and your head to be on like a block. But I don't have a block. This is yoga for people starting wherever they're at, and my butt can't go down to my heels right now. But that was very, very comfortable. Now we're going to do snake pose a few times. Again, just really opening up that heart chakra, opening up your chest, opening up your lungs, embracing your personal power, embracing your strength, embracing yourself. And if you can look to both sides. Remember to breathe and move your little tail, move your feet if you can. Snake pose, if you're doing it for cobra pose, the first few times, I wouldn't recommend really trying to turn your head around to all the sides. It might be a lot, and you want to be really always really attentive and gentle with your neck. But we're going to do three sort of rounds of this cobra pose, and then we're going to rest and switch into something else. If you can do this variation of a wheel pose where you basically grab both of your feet and then lift up. It's pretty tricky. I decided to try one more time. Um, you can just rest for now if you don't want to try this, or you can do cobra pose again. There we go, got it. And then just kind of lift up and breathe. So good, so good. Your body is so happy that you're engaging with it. I know mine is. Oh, there we go. A bit higher. Again, probably shouldn't hold that for more than 10 seconds. And then we're going to rest. Continuing to breathe deeply through everything that we're doing. What's next? Joy, smiling at your internal organs, thanking your liver for all that it does for you, thanking your kidneys, thanking your digestive system, thanking your body for everything it does for you. Okay, this is crazy fun. You're going to be shocked if you keep doing this. Um, Practice any kind of energy practice, you're going to be amazed at this. So we're going to do some big arm circles in both directions 10 times. First backwards, okay, then forwards. You can watch your finger with your hand. You can just follow it with your eyes. And you'll see that as you're doing this practice, what you're doing is also unlocking any blocked and trapped energy in you. So you're kind of waking your chi up. So when I do this, I start to feel like I'm flying. My arms go so fast. I'm amazed they feel so free. So 10 times on both sides if you can, or for 10 seconds. And then look at that, no hands marker of health. When you can get up with no hands, it is a good sign indeed. So after we do that, but with both sides on our hands, we're going to come over to the wall and do some work with the wall. We're going to get into a kind of mountain pose here. Make sure that your shoulder blades are touching the wall, the back of your head is touching the wall, and just open up your arms and just feel your own aura, feel your own space, feel your own energy, feel what it is to be in your own energy and know that it's safe. Know that your body is a safe place for you. You can open your legs a little bit as well, so just you're really making a star out of your body. We're going to reach our hands up again, interlock our fingers, and flip that upwards so our palms are facing the sky. Your body is so thankful. Then, keeping your back straight, reach down and try and touch your toes. Go as far as you can. Keep your knees slightly bent. Make sure you're breathing. You can reach a little forward if you need to. You can put your hands on your thighs. If you can't reach the floor, anything is fine. Wherever you're starting is great. Just let your body be happy. The thing about doing these kind of practices is that it's a lifestyle. You don't want to do it one day. You don't want to rip your muscles, hurt yourself, or anything. You just want to start where you are and keep going. Just a little bit of wrist rotations, and then instead of going right into tree pose, doing this kind of like Garuda energy, this kind of eagle energy, and then into tree pose, because we're powerful people and we probably feel powerful now after that awesome mountain pose. But don't fall over and hurt yourself. So do tree pose on both sides if you can. Remember that where your eyes are, where your vision is where your center of balance is. Look forward and breathe. You don't have to cross your legs like this if you can't. It takes practice. If you can, that's awesome. Vibe out. If you can't, just stand straight away from the wall and take several deep breaths. And keep putting your palms up towards the sky and bringing them down. Waking up your lungs and just helping to clear them out. Now we're going to put one hand on the wall and take the opposite leg in that arm, whatever side of your body it is. So I'm starting on the right side. We're going to hold that for about 10 seconds, really bringing your heel to your butt as far as you can. See, one side is always going to be tighter than the other side. If you can't do that, then just lift your leg backwards as far as you can for a moment and then let it go. It's not about having a crazy ego. It's about honoring your body. So push yourself, but don't push yourself. Don't hurt yourself. What are we doing next? This is so exciting. Okay, we are going to do some more splits practice and wall work. So, in order to get yourself completely on the wall, you want your butt to be really flush with the wall. Your butt and your legs should be in perfectly parallel to the wall. Make a little L with your body. Sorry, make a big L with your body. And then when you're ready, you can just lie on your back and flip over and get your legs right up on the wall. Now, if you have any kind of trauma or excess weight that might be connected to issues with stress or anything, one thing that you can do to help for lymph drainage, if you have swelling, inflammation, is to put your feet up on the wall. And you can do this for an hour every day. It's actually something that takes a lot of practice. There's a really good stretch for your butt, but it's very weird. Some days I can totally do it, some days I can't. That's what I was just trying to do. And when I decided I couldn't do it today, I said that's fine. So we're just going to spend, you know, a couple minutes here. You want your feet to be flat if you can. Trust me, this is a little bit harder than it looks. So make sure that you're breathing. Hold that for as long as you can and just keep your legs straight up on the wall. Your legs should be straight up on the wall. There should not be any space between your butt and the wall or your legs and the wall to do this safely and comfortably. And this is really helping the lymph drainage to go back where it belongs. I, ever since I had my son, I have like the strangest swelling in different parts of my body, and everyone sort of acts like it's no problem, all my Western medicine doctors, or they've offered me water pills, which I don't want to take because I don't think that actually solves the issue, but rather addresses a few of the symptoms. So even if I can't put my legs up on the wall for an hour a day, which I really do my best to do, I make sure I incorporate this pose into my practice for just a few minutes. And then we're going to move that back into splits practice. Now, with the splits practice, you want to go almost like where it's like, ooh, that's a little bit burny. Not where it's burning or ripping or tearing, but a little bit too tense, so you know where your limit is, and then you want to pull back, right? You saw I just pulled back maybe 3 inches, and then you're going to hold that for a few minutes. And just let your body and your muscles get used to, again, learning their, strengths, learning their limitations, seeing where they can grow, letting your circulation improve, letting your lymph fluids move. Fun fact about lymphatic fluid, there's more lymphatic fluid in the human body than there is blood. So, yes, it's very important. Then we're going to just do both legs one at a time. Bend one and keep one straight for about 30 seconds and then switch. And then again, remembering safety, we're going to put our legs down and get up the same way that we got down. Still with me? Still rocking with me, friends and foes? Haters and elevators? Because that was a good session. Don't get up too quickly when you've been upside down. You don't want to hurt yourself. Oh, also, never do this when you're menstruating. I mean, obvious, right? But when you're menstruating, all of your energy is flowing downwards. Yes, the blood, yes, the fluid is flowing downwards, but energy is like kind of purging and draining down. You do not want to be going like upside down or anything. Basically working against nature, going against the tide. You do not want to do that to your body when it's in its normal process of purging and menstruation. Needed to add that. So here now I am doing another mudra. For some reason I can't remember any of the names of them today, but we're gonna sit in lotus pose if you can. If you can't, you can have your legs just open in front of you, but try to practice sitting with your legs like this. And I have the first finger, the forefinger and thumb of my left hand together, open facing the sky, and then I have my right palm just under that hand supporting it, just taking several deep breaths. And it's funny, for some people, closing their eyes is a respite. For me, I close my eyes for a few seconds, and then once my body is just in its next stage, I actually feel more comfortable opening my eyes. It's funny, it's not something I really think about, it's more involuntary. And it's important to just honor whatever is good for your body. Again, when we're doing trauma recovery work, it's not about who gets there the fastest, it's about healing and wellness. That was it. We did it. We did it, team. I am so glad to have had you here for this wonderful healthy movement session. Give yourself a big pat on the back and round of applause for doing something kind and loving and good for your body today. Oh, just one thing where I was just pointing my hands. Those are where your psoas is on both sides, and that's like a big trauma release trigger place. Doing things like crunches activates it every single time, which is not what you want to be doing, right? And also on the side of your neck there, you can also do slight gentle kind of massage because a lot of lymph fluid kind of gets built up there, or you can do dry brushing. So, thank you. It was my distinct honor to do this work with you today. Be easy, my peoples. Keep taking care of yourselves. One love.